Tina? Tina?
Get away from her, you bitch!
No, Tatum, it's okay. She's just doing her job, right, Kim?
Yes, that's right.
So, how's the book?
Well, it'll be out later this year.
Oh, I'll look for it.
I'll send you a copy.
You won.
We've been waiting for this day.
It's our time now.
Hello everyone, it's Gus from Askewed Reviews. And even though it's no longer Saturday, this is a new episode of Cinema Society Saturday. Unfortunately, the original video I had for this, when I was doing some editing, the audio got destroyed. I didn't have time yesterday to redo it, so I'm redoing it today and posting it today. Now, if you don't know what Cinema Society Saturday is, this is where a group of us who absolutely love horror movies have all come together, and then each week we are randomly given a theme. We partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review all of those films for all of you. Now, if you couldn't figure it out from the intro, this week's theme is honoring Women's History Month, as all of the films we reviewed either had a female director starring a female or an all-female cast. And my partner for this week is Jimmy, although you might know him better as Brewnerd, and if you're not already following him, definitely go and do so. He has some really fun and interesting content, and every once in a while you get to see his adorable little microbrew. For this week's theme, Jimmy gave me the film of The House on Sorority Row from 1982, directed and co-written by Mark Rossman. Now let me tell you more about the concept to see if this is one that you do want to check out for yourselves. In the movie, we meet a group of sorority sisters that have been together for the past 4 years. Now, these 4 years have been pretty good, except for one annoying constant, and that would be the house mother, Mrs. Slater. She has caused issues for them, she has harassed them, she has been rude, and it only seems like she's gotten worse recently. Now that all of these girls have graduated, they've decided that instead of going home, they're actually going to stay here at the house and host a raging party. During this time, most of the other sororities do actually keep their houses open, but always around this time of year, Mrs. Slater seems to close hers down, which the girls thought would be great because then they could just use the place to have their party. Problem is Mrs. Slater doesn't actually leave, and it looks like she's sticking around, which could cause a huge issue for their get-together. Now, I don't know why they think this is going to solve their issue, but one of the girls, Vicky, has decided that she's going to pull a very mean prank on Mrs. Slater, which unfortunately is so terrible it ends up causing her death. All of the girls are now freaking out and can't figure out what to do next. While in this panicked state, Vicky unfortunately puts the idea forward that everyone goes with because they are in a panic, and that's to hide her body for the time being. Most of the girls are pretty guilt-stricken, but they do manage to put on that makeup and slap on that smile to make everything look good for all of their partygoers. Things seem to be going pretty good at first, that is, at least until an uninvited guest makes an appearance, which may or may not be Mrs. Slater, who wasn't actually dead. So can the girls manage to keep the party going while keeping their guests safe, and at the same time start discovering some interesting skeletons in Mrs. Slater's closet, or to be more specific, attic? For me personally, I do feel like The House on Sorority Row is one of those quintessential 80s slasher films that does still stand the test of time. I feel like it has a good story, there are some really cool kills in it, the concept is interesting, but at the same time, I will also say it doesn't have the best story, And even though there are a couple of standout performances, there are also a few that are, we'll just say, not that great. There are also a few more specific things that I did have a couple of issues with. First off, and I could be wrong on this, but I could swear that I'm correct, some of the sequences where you get to see the killer earlier on in the film, I feel like there was potentially different body doubles because the dimensions looked a bit different at times. Just because at one point I could have sworn there was someone who had a much bigger frame and then someone who looked really skinny. I could be mistaken, like I said, but I think I'm correct. Also, probably my biggest issue, and this really isn't much of a spoiler, well, at the same time, this movie was also made in 1982, so do with that what you will. But in the film, near the end of the movie, the killer has a costume change that is just implausible. The fact that they not only knew what room to get to in that amount of time, but change into that costume and then be able to set it up to make it seem like they weren't in that room just made absolutely no sense. But once again, this is an 80s slasher, or even more specifically, slashers in general. You always have to kind of allow a little bit more of bending to reality because the killers can usually do things that break physics. All in all, though, this was a fun and enjoyable watch as I had not seen this movie in years. And for those of you who like their slasher films with a side of nudity, you will also find some of that in here as well. So for me on my scale, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Now, if you did want to check this one out for yourselves, it is currently streaming for free on Prime, Tubi, Pluto, Roku, and Hoopla. And once more, just another quick shout out to my partner Brewnerd. Go and follow him. Let's try to get him up to 2,000 followers. And another good reason to check out his content is to see the movie that I gave him to review, which was the 2005 film, The Descent. I hope you enjoyed my review for The House on Sorority Row. And if you'd like to see what everyone else did on their reviews honoring Women's History Month, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.